Hello there, my name is James and welcome to Demo Disc-Ussion, where I talk about a certain demo's content, giving my own opinion on games in a short manner, and also sharing stories of nostalgic past. And today's demo disc is going to be a very nostalgic heavy one personally, because it's the first one I ever played. This is PlayStation UK demo number 54 and PlayStation Australia demo number 31. They're both the same. And as you can see, it both has Buzz Lightyear on the cover, so you'd know I was very excited for that. And since there's so much content on these things, we should just get right into it and play the stuff. And what a menu this is! The music, as always, belongs in a trance nightclub, sounding like a bunch of rhythmic jelly sucking water through a straw, and visually, it's like a microscopic look at a breathing pool that gathered a fair share of chlorine. It's appetizingly repetitive, and whilst not as appealing as some other busy and decorative menu screens, this still gathers that 90s warmness with the cool blue aesthetic. Our first game is Centipede, and you might be thinking this is just going to be the arcade classic that took more quarters than my tax office. It's not what you think, as it's pretty much a 3D remake of the original. You've got the spaceship dude, the colour changing mushrooms, the creepy crawlers, the obnoxious shooting sound effect, all in a new environment you can move freely in, instead of a black abyss. Atari in the late 90s was adding a new twist to their classics on the PS1, such as Pong and Breakout, so it's not surprising that Centipede got the treatment as well. But I don't know if it was completely necessary. As a kid, I had no clue on what was going on and had major trouble playing it since the controls are tank-like. You use the trigger buttons to strafe, the action button shoots the lasers, and the D-pad lets you move forward and backward, which is pretty neat to move around the whole area instead of being stuck at the bottom of the level. So there's an upgrade to the original. Instead of being a visual boost like Space Invaders for PS1, there's different camera perspectives to choose from, and the bird's eye is the most appealing of the bunch. I mean, goddamn, playing the whole game like this would just be a pain since the majority of the screen is on the spaceship's butt. This music though, it scared the shit out of me when I was younger. I can just feel the spider or centipede crawling up the toilet or through the vent or up my chair. What scares me now is the headache-inducing frame rate, which hopefully was fixed when it shipped for full price sales. This is a demo after all. You get some extra power-ups for more chaos reducing, you save a bunch of people in a small town, and bam, a wonderful end card with a creepy ass looking centipede that wants his pack of holiday cigarettes. Nothing gets me more excited than fast action real-time 3D shooters and multiple views that put me closer to the as I dare. Oh yeah baby, because I really wanted to zoom in that close. And it's available now, so if it seems interesting, then definitely grab a copy. Moving on, here is a downloader, and it's exactly what you think it's going to be. No, not downloading entire games, but I wish. My memory card is being scanned for saved data with some terrifying sound effects. And it's as if I jabbed my TV with a large metal pole. And dang, this card is filled up sadly. That's a shame because I wanted to, download a 100% complete save file of Tekken 3. You want to get to the final encounter with Cortex, with everything collected in Crash Bandicoot, or have all levels and vehicles unlocked for Wipeout 2097? Well, you got it. This is the key to cheating and fake bragging rights to your friends essentially. Whether that's expressing how you actually managed to beat the hardest game in the video game market, or showing off to your crush that you actually played the rarest game on the planet instead of eating a pizza single in the playground. You get what I mean, eh? And what's with Kingsley's Adventure not saying anything? Does this mean I get the full game? It's a nifty bit of history, and whilst I didn't utilize this a lot, it's still something to behold. Since it's on the disc, it won't be going away at all. We'll be seeing this often in our travels from now on, so it'll be nice to see what other games pop up here. We have 3 videos to glance at, starting with Ace Combat 3. I did play a demo of this in PS UK demo number 55, and it's one of the best flight combat simulators you could find. The video encapsulates the tense fly or die situations with some tech rock Wipeout-esque music whopping in the background, flashing with some quick editing to showcase the awesome jets, the different areas of combat to have in the air, but mostly showing how legit this player is getting all the bullseyes and bingos. Just makes me want to do all that myself. Good job trailer, just wished you were a minute rather than 3. And hello Gran Turismo 2, definitely was not expecting to see you here again, and believe it or not, we have seen this video before in another demo disc. Still pulsating, still extremely fast paced with quick cuts every second or two, but it's extremely engaging. I made fun of it a lot in my past video, but overall it's short and sweet. And finally Space Debris or Sparse Debris, if you want to be more jaunty about it. And wow, why have I not heard of seen anything about this? It looks super cool and action packed. It's like a mesh of Panzer Dragoon, N2O, and Godzilla all in one space. The visuals are stunning without a sense of play, it seems grand, colourful in style, and has a lot going to the point that it makes me want to play it more than watch it. I definitely want to give this Space Debris a try, and if you've played it, let me know what it's like. Yes to the yes, here we have Worms Armageddon. This franchise is lots of fun to hold on to, from World Party to the 3D games, perhaps Worms Pinball, maybe not. You know you've made a glorious title when it's entertaining with or without another player. In the demo you can have a single player or multiplayer experience, but since it's just me, we're going to check out this section. Deathmatch is not available, but we do get training, a mission, and a quick game. As much as I would want to show you the mission stuff, I'm keeping to tradition, which is to never play the missions and focus on having a fun little game to pass the time. Role-playing was my favourite thing to do in Worms, and entering this windmill paddock arena brings me all the way back to those moments. No music in the background, the sounds of the drums preparing the round, the nice little sound effects of the weapons, and of course, the insults and backhands from the worms. For the demo, your arsenal is neatly packed with some of the best weapons in the game, such as the Super Sheep, the rope, and my beloved holy hand grenade. This thing brought more laughs out of me than 10 seasons of Friends. Oh, shut up! There's enough strategy for challenge, there's plenty of mischief to be accomplished by blowing the whole stage up, not calculating the throw of a weapon, the lock of a missile, it's all excellent. Except for the hilarious and awkward jumping. I swear nothing has stressed me out more than trying to jump away from detonated mines or a prepped slice of dynamite. The battles keep on clicking because of the time limit, and sure, it gets a bit boring waiting for the CPU to actually do something, and most of the time it's a stupid tactic, like really stupid. But looking past all of that, Worms Armageddon is a lot of fun, and you know what? I might as well play as both teams, so here we go. Oh my word, it's V-Rally 2 time, and I've been waiting to play this for ages. It was probably one of the first racing games I ever tried out that wasn't Gran Turismo or Ridge Racer Type 4. It has one of the most simple but engaging menus and a heartbeat loading screen, and it's not going to work, is it? Let's give it a good old reset. Brilliant. That's great. Toy Story 2 is the main seller of this demo disc, and oh boy, what a seller indeed, for we have a very hearty amount of content, and it only contains one single level. First things first, I thought that this Activision logo was rather intimidating. It didn't really scare me, but it was intense since it was breaking open a company that is actually horrible. This Disney Interactive logo is iconic, beaming the Disney logo in this red box out of space. Truly magical. but the one logo that is literal nostalgia is the Traveler's Tales intro. The music, the animation, the way the moon comes into the background. What adventure is this creature embarking on? It leaves so much to the imagination, and sure, it could mean a delve into their myriad of different games, but where is this dude going? I'm going to say this, and you never know, I might make a separate article on Traveler's Tales, but I seriously wanted a video game for this character. Like a classic platformer of the different worlds that could be had with just this alone. I know I'm asking a lot from it, but it would have been sweet getting Traveler's Tales by Traveler's Tales. Anyway, Toy Story 2's demo doesn't mess around by playing action music at the menu screen when it would be You've Got a Friend in Me by Randy Newman in the retail release. We get to play the entirety of level 1, Andy's house, and if I'm honest, this demo is probably the best you could ever receive since there's so much to do. It's all a tutorial but a challenge if you decide to collect every Pizza Planet token and complete each objective. You'll start off jumping around Danny's room getting the gist of the controls, which are dated but still easy to adjust to. The camera is probably the main issue of mine. You can shoot your laser, do a Crash Bandicoot spin I rarely use, and double jump. The enemies that are around the place, like the blue copter and the red pogo tin can robot, were menacing to say the least when I was younger. I always kept my distance from them and shot from afar. Now I'm just a trooper jumping and bopping about without a care in the world. What scared me the most out of anything, the first person perspective of Buzz Lightyear, since you can see his reflection from the helmet and it's rather off-putting. Not to forget you can also hear his breathing. Yikes. There's a lot to do like I mentioned. You go into the attic and encounter a mini-boss, you head to the shed to race RC and platform through ongoing tools that should be shut off, and his mum should be aware of her surroundings, geez Louise. There's the lounge room where you can slam on a couch to the shelves, find Mr. Potato Head's ear, then you'll go to the basement, and it unlocks a force field shield to get past green ooze. Also, by the way, that green ooze is more toxic than the Pizza Planet soda. More platforming fun to get another token, a flock of sheep for Bo Peep, which are scattered around each area of the house. Might I add that that's a weird looking car in the shed? Too futuristic for me. And the coins we've been collecting are for Ham and his lovely money saving insurance. All of that is in one singular level, and you get that kid-like wonder of interactivity. I mean, who didn't imagine having a toy of their own and creating these adventures? I most certainly did with my Crash Bandicoot plush, who's been used and abused to the point where he's been stitched up in his armpits, stitched in his lost belly button that has been gone for eons. His nose has been very tampered with, and it's still getting worse to this day. But overall, he's been loved. And the thing about when I reflect on the Toy Story 2 video game is me like slinging him from couches, going on all these massive adventures, trying to make him spin like he does in the video game, and so, you know, lots of movement, every bit of movement, and flipping everything. It's all the heart of this game, to project us playing as a toy in our gigantic world. I believe you should check this one out, even if it's just the demo. It's a true PlayStation classic. But before leaving, Toy Story 2 as a movie, I think is pretty brilliant. I mean, I love The Incredibles more out of the Pixar collection, just from this Kronos Unveiled sequence alone, but Toy Story 2 is definitely higher up. A wonderful balance of adventure, drama, and of course life lessons. Holy shiitake mushrooms, it's Sled Storm, and I feared that it would not work properly like V-Rally 2, but Eureka 7, it works, and I'm going to focus on just this one singular thing. I've done a video for Sled Storm before, and you can check that out if you want to, but for an easygoing response to all of it, it's an entertaining sled racer that has great heavy controls, a pumping soundtrack with Rob Zombie's Dragula included, a wonderful set of tracks with lots of shortcuts and destructible objects, and enough areas for some mediocre hang time tricks. But guess what I was scared of the most? This bear. Yeah, the bear that's on the sidelines that stays in its little cocoon of the area. It was intimidating to say the least. Something you could easily drive by because the focus is to, you know, finish the race first place. The sliver and glance at this beast though gave me shivers, mainly because I always thought and dreamed the bear would escape the barrier and chase behind the Sled Stormer, and if you stopped, he'd ravage you. No joke, and you know what I have to blame for all of this? I have to blame Crash Bandicoot 2 and its unbearable level, which also gave me some fun nightmares. So combining these two into one thing was the ultimate nightmare, and I think I'm the only one in the world to have been so scared by a side decoration to terrain. It's hilarious to think, but that was me as a kid. But if you put a stupid navy cap and put them in a tank, then it's no longer scary. There you go. And here's the classic end card with intense levels, an intense split screen co-op with a whopping 25 frames per second, and the night driving mode with headlights, which font is stretched beyond belief. Moving on. This demo is the gift that keeps on giving. Hello there, PacMan World, and oh boy, do we have a lot to get through again. The menu is such a delight. If you move between the options, PacMan will run in place whichever direction you go. Let's just take a look upon quest for today, and here we are in Buccaneer Beach, one of the first levels in the main game. And this brings me back to being a kid, it honestly does. The cartoon visuals, the sound effects of collecting pellets, fruits, and smashing them skeleton boys, and this music, oh my god, it's so happy-go-lucky that I want to eat a pan flute and whistle like a goddess. Through the level, you collect pack pellets, through to unlock doors, letters that spell out Pac-Man, and essentially try to survive through the level. Pac-Man has a lot in his control belt, such as bounding and bounding, running on the spot to charge up hills, and charge up propeller platformers. You get abilities like the steel ball to stay underwater, and it all flows well, especially if you understand the game controls like I do. Probably one of my favorite and toughest 3D platformers. The animations and fluency of Pac-Man is great, and this level is a great starter to those who aren't well accustomed to it. It's still got a level of challenge, but not to the point where you'll fail immediately. It's relaxing and keeps you engaged with the colourful and vibrant nature of the whole experience. After finishing the level, you get to rack up all them glorious pack pellets and swoosh the fruits all into a machine to try your luck at some hardcore slot machine gambling. And I completely suck. And that's not the end of the demo, for we get clowning around, which comes in the later stages of the game. This is to definitely showcase the challenge to be had when you pick it up. And let me tell you, this wacky music and spiraling spiral of whirligigs, bumper cars, aeroplane jellies, and creepy as heck looking clowns make this all the merrier. Both Buccaneer Beach and Clowning Around are great levels for showcasing what the game has to offer. And the level just keeps on going with lots of small areas to get to, including a special maze stage. These are honestly the weaker elements to the game since Pac-Man moves rather slow in these surroundings, and you kinda want to return to what this game is all about. The 3D levels. Everything is so topsy-turvy and the sound effects are 10 out of 10 here. When you make it to the end of this level and collect everything like you won the jackpot, you get a bonus level where you have to collect a bunch of fruit on a bunch of balloons within the time limit. And look at that, just in the nick of time. Are you ready for the most rewarding element? And then you get a nice end card, thanking you for playing the game. Hockey! The only hockey games I've officially played were NHL 2009 for the Xbox 360 since I was bored one weekend and decided to rent it, and hockey for the Atari 2600. And this is pretty much a competent NHL game from the PlayStation era, meaning it's dated and I don't know how to play it properly in one single round. Definitely a game I wouldn't mind pressing select on, which will quit the demo. The final game we have is MTV Snowboarding, and believe it or not, this is the one that gives me pure nostalgic ecstasy, mainly because I've never played this game outside the demo. Entering in and oh my god! It looks complex, but honestly, it'll be a piece of cake. We have an awesome menu screen with spinning sleds, and a dude that really wants to be the next Tony Hawk Pro Skater cover boy. The only mode to play upon is training mode, which is a given, and we do need to understand how to play. And there's two choices of characters, Anna and Mitch. And I gotta go with Mitch, since I chose him as my main as a kid. And away we go, and... this is it. This is my peak of 90s nostalgia. A copyright claim will be apparent, but it doesn't matter if you get to hear a glimpse of some punk rock. This is disconnected by face to face, and it serves a tremendous amount of energy and weight to the snowboarding experience. I can imagine getting pumped hearing this at a small little garage band. The words just don't justify the feeling. And what about the game? It looks good, it runs at a nice frame rate, there's nice amounts of pathways to traverse down the slope, the models look swell, the gameplay, whilst a bit stiff in trick performing and turning, is still mighty fine to me. But oh my god, this music and this level, it's so inviting and it makes me want to buy a copy. But doing so would probably result in me being disappointed in the overall product. This song is all kinds of great, and if you listen to it yourself, and close your eyes, imagine your room being filled with a bulk TV, PS1, a CD player, and the best looking band posters from the likes of Garbage and Metallica, you have 90s heaven. So you were seeing me actually trying to do well, but I think for the ultimate experience, this is how it actually looked when I played it for the first time. And there you have it, PlayStation UK demo number 54, AUS 31. I messed it up in the intro, whoopsie daisy me. But this was such a nostalgic syringe to my veins with so many good classic games from 1999. And sure there was hockey, and sure there were some very mediocre videos, but overall, with all the main content fillers, it just kept on loading and loading and loading on with so many good experiences, even though we didn't get to test V-Rally 2. That sucks. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next demo discussion, but be sure to give me your opinions on any of the games that I covered in this demo disc. Till next time, bye bye.